Everyone, welcome to the next shark video. I did go away, as I said in the last video, and have a little look at what colour sharks can be, and it was quite hard. A lot of the pictures are underwater, so they look slightly bluey, but I think they're really quite grey, but some varieties seem to be a little bit more colourful. But anyway, we're going to do this one, probably maybe grey or brown. Anyway, we're going to start with this sort of corally bits, and I thought we would do them slightly differently. We'll do them in pink, I think, and I rather think these sort of salmony pinks are quite good. This one's called Light Flesh, and what I'm going to do is go over all of the corally bits in this as a base, and then I'm going to go over the areas that I want to be a little bit darker. So as I say, it's quite a bit different to how I did the other ones. It just shows you a different way you can do it, really. So as I say, this is called Light Flesh, but the colour has changed names, so you may not have that colour in your set. Let me just have a quick look because I've written it down. Beige Red. Okay. So we're going to use this. Oops. So not for this sort of planty bits, but just for the corally bits. So we're going to go all over those to start with. Now the thing with Polychromos is that you can layer them up, so as long as you don't press really hard and burnish the colour down into the paper, you can put down a light layer and then put other colours over in certain places, and so you can sort of start with a base, which is, I find, quite useful in some situations. But there is no right or wrong way to colour, so you can just do it your way. But sometimes I find this is a bit quicker and easier, so it can be worth thinking about whether to do things this way. So there is one sort of main bunch of it, and then we've got now on the tail, I think it goes all the way right down to the end. So right from here, I think it's a little bit tricky to know, like on there, but that's how I'm going to do it. And then we're going to use the other colours in this sort of family of colours to add to it. Let me just check. Yes, that's all of it as far as I can see. So next I am going to use, I think, this one. Now on my pencil this is called the Dark Flesh. It could also be Salmon. Okay, let's give it a sharpen. Now I think I'm going to use this for the sort of lines, so all these sort of lines around the edges, things like that. I think it's a really pretty colour, so I think it will look nice around these edges. And yeah, we'll do it on all of them the same, like we did. I think I'm going to do that throughout, just to keep it sort of, there's some consistency between them even though they're different colours. It helps me as well, I don't have to think of something different each time. And if I wanted to make everyone different, that would be quite difficult. Different colours is okay, but different styles and techniques, that's quite tricky. I think there's a limit really to how many I could think of. I'm sure there are loads, but on this one I'm not sure whether to do these bits. I think I will. All the way around. have we missed? We've missed one up here, haven't we? This one. My hand gets in the way half the time. I can't see what I've missed and what I haven't. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Yeah, so let's have a look over here. Not sure about those bumps. I think I leave those. It's you can do them if you want. There's no right and wrong. Just however you think it's going to work. I'm just uploading a video at the moment. I accidentally made a bit of a boo-boo with it. Choosing my next colour while I'm talking. I started it uploading and then I accidentally refreshed the page on YouTube and it doesn't like that, and it stopped. This is the medium flesh, and you might find it called coral, which seems very appropriate. And I'm going to sort of work a few details. So let's have a look. Let's start here. These circles I think I'm going to go over with this, and maybe just a little bit on the edge of here, not too much, really light, and on these as well, just a little bit of extra colour, just warmth. And yeah, this one I'm just going to go in there, I think. Maybe a bit here, I'm tempted. I'm just, I don't know, getting a bit carried away maybe. But I think Castle Arts have changed some of their colour names as well, for the same reasoning really as Faber Castell. You know, calling things flesh is a bit tricky really, because everyone has different colour flesh. So I think they wanted to sort of move away from that. And so they still have the flesh tones. I should say the sort of, I mean, this is called medium flesh. It's really very light, isn't it, compared to some. So they still have all the tones to use, but they're just called different things. So just to make it a little bit less, I don't know, really, you know, biased, I suppose, towards lighter skin tone. Which I think it's perhaps because they're, you know, appealing to more of an international market as well. But even so, get different different tones in all countries. So I think it's a good thing. And I know there are things like Crayola that I have which have lots of different skin tone colours, some very dark, some very light, so you can you know, do whatever works. I tend to find it quite difficult. I try and copy my own because that's what I know and what I can see, but not everyone wants to do that, and not everyone's got the same as me, obviously. Right, I am going to do some more conventional greens. Conventional? Is that the right word? No. Grass greens, leaf greens. That's what I'm going to do. Neutral? Mid? I don't know. I'm just making up things. So this is leaf green, and I'm going to use it for the grass, and I'm not going to use the grass green. It's just, I like this slightly darker. I like having a slightly darker one for the individual strands. I think it shows up better when you've got a small area. It's quite hard to make a really light green or any light colour show up in a smaller area. So that's what I'm doing. Put a little bit in there. Excuse me sniffing. I seemed a little bit runny nosy this morning. I don't really know why. But anyway. So I'm just trying to unpick this really and fathom out where all the grassy stems are. We've got one here that's a little bit different. I'm probably going to do that one a slightly different colour. Maybe. Haven't been planning really. Okay, oh, we've got some down here. Oh, it's 10:30, just checking the time. Been getting a little bit dehydrated lately, so I'm keeping an eye on the time, make sure I get my drinks in. It's 10:30, I've had one at breakfast and I had one since, so it's time to make another one, I think. Now I'm going to use the grass green now, and I'm going to use it for these slightly thicker stems. These 4 all look really similar, and that one, so I'm going to do those all the same. Now I'm going to try and maybe lighten it a little bit towards the tip. I think that's the easiest way to go, like that. But excuse me, it should show up a little bit. You just need to make sure you start layering it up more at the bottom, and then you've got somewhere to go as you fade it a little bit and do less layers going towards the top or the other end, I suppose. It's not really the top, is it? And then you can see this bit is darker than this bit. But you can just keep it all really dark if you prefer that look. There's, as I said, it's, you know, it's your picture. This one is a little bit narrower, but I think we can still do a little bit there. A little bit of fading. There we go. Now we have a light green, which is even lighter, which I'm going to use for the last couple of things. I think I will do these the same, although they're not the same. I think it might just tie it together. And I don't really have another pencil in this sort of colour family. So, I mean, I could mix some up. I haven't done that. That is the leaf green. I had a feeling I'd missed a bit somehow. There we go. Oh, I just realised it's Wednesday. It means I have to empty the bins. So exciting. Husband often puts them out, but I don't know if he will be able to with his back today. But he doesn't tend to remember to sort of empty the bins, just put them out. So I have to be quick and get it all done, or else he just puts them out. And then there's a house in our street that has no one living there at the minute, so we tend to put them on their drive, and it means that they're so far out of the way, so far away. Now I'm choosing a brown for this shark. I'm thinking raw umber might be the way to go. I'm going to sharpen it a little bit because we've got a lot of little tiny areas to colour into. So yeah, did I show you for long enough raw umber? And I'm going to, as I have with my others, I'm going to start with just a light layer, and we'll see how we go. Got a little pointy nose, this one. I'm trying to remember whether this was Johanna's 3rd or 4th book. I think it might have been her 3rd, but I'm not sure whether Magical Jungle came before this or after. You might tell me in the back. It just lists Secret Garden and Enchanted Forest in the back. So maybe it was her 3rd book. I think some people found it quite a tricky one because of all the little intricate details. And then when she did Magical Jungle, some people found it tricky because of all the blank spaces that needed to be filled in. So I think she tends to now do a bit of a mix to try and keep everyone happy. It's impossible to keep everyone happy all of the time, but I think it's a good idea. She does listen to feedback. I think it's good in a way. You have to be so careful when you're doing things like my videos, for example. You want to try and keep people happy, but you can't keep everybody happy, and you need to keep it creative as well. So if someone suggests something and it's not something you're in the mood for doing, then it might not look right. So what I do is, if someone asks me to do a page or a picture or show a technique or whatever it might be, I add it to a list, and then when I'm in the mood for doing it, I do it, so that I don't just do it right away, because I might not be feeling it on that particular day, you know. So so that's my sort of secret. I also you know, I get a little bit of negative, I get dislikes on videos and things like that. I've had a few people negative comments, not very many, but you have to just remember that you're putting yourself out there, so you're going to get a mix of response. You can't make everybody happy all the time. Some people just aren't going to like what you do. Some people aren't going to like even the most excellent work. So you've just got to remember that art is a matter of personal taste, and that's that. So I protect myself in some ways. I keep a slight level of anonymity in that I don't put my links to my colouring on my personal Facebook channel, because I don't tell everyone that I know personally, you know, face to face, friends and family, what I do. I test them out a little bit. So if people ask me what I do, I say, oh, I do YouTube, I'm happy with that. I teach art techniques, and then I might then, if they look like they're interested, I might say using coloured pencils, and then I see how the conversation goes. Most of the time it ends at that point. I don't tell them that I do colouring books, because there's a sort of snobbery, I think, about art in a way, that, you know, this is cheating in some sort of way. I'm going to use the Nougat to go around the edge, and that, you know, it's not proper art, because you're just colouring, you know. So I'm just a bit guarded, because I had people say be unkind, let's just put it that way. So I don't want that. I have to protect my mental health, and I don't want that. I don't want to think, when I meet people that I haven't seen for ages, that they're suddenly going to be judging me on what I'm doing. But I know that if they could easily find me on YouTube, but if they're just not interested, they won't look. And if they are interested in art, then I think they will have an understanding of how hard it is, and, you know, how there's room for lots of different types of art and different types of teaching. So anyway, we'll see. I mean, I know that some of my family would be very supportive. Some of them are, you know, some of them know. But I'm friends. But, you know, and not all of them. So anyway, I think I will get more confident as my channel grows, you know. How many subscribers have you got? I'm like, it's not the be all and end all, but, you know, I seem quite impressed by 7,000, or nearly 7,000 last time I was asked, so that's good. Right, I'm just going to go back to the raw umber and neaten it up a little bit. But yeah, I think some people also have a tendency to always pick fault or find fault in things. So sometimes there's certain people I show things to and they'll always say, oh, well, that it would be better if you'd done it like that. And I think, well, I didn't actually ask you how I could improve. I was just showing you what I'd done, you know. I'd have to try and ignore those people too. And I suspect you guys have come across similar things. Some people are very supportive and some people not so. And it's just a matter of being careful. You know, let's push him down so you can see him. There he is. So I think I'm done with him. I'm happy with how he looks. I've got no idea how we're going to do the next one. We've got a little one at the bottom of the page to do, so he'll be fun. But for today, that is it. I'm still unsure as to whether I think I should be doing something a bit more with their eyes. But anyway, I'm not at the moment, so I don't know. But anyway, for now, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a lovely day and happy colouring.